Hello and welcome back, everybody, to If My Heart Had Wings, I Would Make Good Money with doctors looking at it. Jesus, this was a poor joke. Anyway, so last episode we watched Kotori eating Häagen-Dazs and also lose her withdrawal note, but ice cream is more important, I suppose. Anyway, I guess we will talk about that with her later. But now, a new day, a new dollar, as Mr. Krabs would say. Let's see what the new day has in store for us. Early in the morning, the doorbell chimed, so I went to open it, and there I saw Ageha. What are you doing here? She remarked as she saw me wearing an apron. Ageha focused on the word student dormitory, as if questioning their suitability as she gazed at the magnificent entrance. So after all this time living in this, what is apparently like a small town, like maybe not a village, but like a small town, you never found actually out what this place is? Now well, I was surprised too, to think that I would become the caretaker of the place that we used to sneak into when we were kids. Why did you come here? I asked while guessing that perhaps she had come to invite me to walk to school with her. She is, after all, my number one best friend. But I never wrote, I'm sorry, I don't get... I know I should be over it, but I'm not really over it. I was wrong. Yeah, like, this is such a weird fucking decision. Like, it's about beauty. Or beauty, or however she pronounced it. But like, what is this with allure? Like, who decided to do this? Like, I kinda get decisions like leaving in a way the chan and kun and senpai and sonpai and shinpai and shonpai, but like, what is this nonsense? This is really such nonsense. No, it's nothing. While blushing due to the misunderstanding, I looked back towards Kotori's room. Looks like she still hasn't woken up. Even if she gets up now and takes her time eating breakfast, she can still make it with time to spare. I wonder if they know each other well. Or this would actually be kind of an interesting... how should I say this? An interesting conflict if Ageha and Kotori had some history, because Aoi would be right in between that, and I guess he has to pick sides? Or he stays neutral and makes everyone angry, and in the end he's on the roof drinking with Kenji. There's still some left. You know what? I totally get that. Like, as mentioned before, I like to eat, and unfortunately a lot. But I'm really not that hungry in the morning. You're joking, right? I only gave you a little bit. Yeah, I guess. Kanako ate the whole thing again this morning, though. How was the taste? Really? With good food, it tastes good no matter how much you eat. An unrefined palate? The shock hit me like a bolt of lightning. I hung my head in dismay. The truth is, Agea had revealed the reason why, since yesterday, the boarders hadn't been eating my cooking properly. I thought I'd ask her opinion, which is why I made Agea some food and got her to eat it. It was made from...
朝から生姜焼きとかナポリタンとか果てしなく女子受けしなさそうなメニューね。
It was made from leftovers. I need to find a new place for this fucking keyboard. Like, this is actually really problematic.
もっとこう爽やかなのはないの？パスタにしてもトマトソース系とか和風にするとかさ。
Yeah, or how about you be a not unthankful little bitch and eat what I cook? What is wrong with these people? Cooking for girls is so difficult. No! Only if they're ungrateful. Boy or girl, we're all human. Tasty is tasty. Yeah, thank you. And all that is like, oh, put this on it and put that on it. A good piece of meat is best without anything. No sauce, no syrup, no, I don't know what you put on meat else. Ketchup or mustard or I don't know. A good piece of meat is a good piece of meat. Oh, I'm actually really serious about this and I'm actually getting worked up. That is what I believed. Yeah, thank you. I told you, man. Aoi is the man. It is actually kinda rare that the protagonist is the most likable person in a visual novel. Just as I was seriously troubled by this, I heard the squeaking of turning wheels coming from down the hallway. Jesus fucking Christ, her wheels need some oil though. First, Het the Duck came into the dining hall. Then Kotori came in after him. It's the opposite to usual.
なんで私が
Kotori rubbed her sleepy eyes and started preparing Hat's food. It somehow looked as if the hungry Hat had woken her up.
さあ、たらふく食って太りなさい。そのうち私があんたを食べてやるんだから。ガガー。
Not understanding her words, Het quacks happily as Kotori speaks to him and eats his food.
アヒルだ。かわいい。
Kotori notices that Ageha is here and instantly opens up her eyes.
これコールダックだよね。テレビの CM で見たことある。ハバネさんが飼ってるの？
Okay, I said I'm not really against leaving out Kun and Chan and stuff. I mean, I'm not for it, but I don't hate it if you leave it out, you know. But what I really dislike is changing when they talk to each other and say their last name. I know that is a very Japanese thing. Like, you wouldn't do this anywhere else, I suppose. At least not in Germany or in America or some places I know of. But I don't know, it's so silly. She says blah 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 Habane-san and then it says Kotori. I don't know.
私の部屋に勝手に住み着いてるだけよ。あなた、ここで何してるの？ハバネさん、最近ずっと休んでるから様子を見に来たんだ。体調はもういいの？先生にでも頼まれたのかしら？そういうんじゃないけど、ねえ、一緒に学校行かない？誰があんたなんかと。
Well, that was rude. Kotori gave a humph and made another one of those straight faces she's so good at. Yeah, she's always neutral.
でも、あんまり休むと授業とか遅れちゃうし、あなたには関係ないでしょ？そうなんだけどね。そうだよね。ごめん。誰も今日休むなんて言ってないじゃない。勘違いしないでね。あなたに言われたから行くわけじゃないのよ。じゃあ待ってるね。誰があなたと一緒に行くって言ったのよ。私は一人で登校します。
Kotori sat with a straight face, then turned her wheelchair around. Just as she was about to leave, she stopped the wheelchair and turned around.
あなたたち知り合いなの？
Huh? Yeah, we're childhood friends.
バカみたい。
Dare dane, dameo, dame. I'm sorry. Oh shit, and I didn't read whatever said. It looks like she has even more of bad attitude this morning. However, she did say she was going to school. And that is all that matters in the end, I suppose. After tidying up the breakfast things, I left the dormitory with Ageha. On our way to school, somehow our conversation turned to Kotori. Yeah, I wonder how. Somehow. Is there a reason why Kotori stopped coming to school?
まあね。ハバネさんって足が不自由でしょ？ 2年で一緒のクラスになった時、そのせいで浮いてるような感じしたから。
What has one thing to do with the other? She has a walking disability. When we joined the same class in the second grade, it seemed like she wasn't really into it. Huh?
時々話しかけるようにしてたんだ。
That's so like Ageha to worry about that sort of thing. If there are any people who don't really fit into the group or are left out, she won't just ignore them. In the past, that's why started to play with Mabu. I guess there are really a lot of mistakes in this visual novel. In the past, that's why she started to play with Mabo, so it could have been for the same reason.
けどハバネさんはあの調子でつっけんどんっていうか馴染む気がないみたいなんだよね。
Yeah, I can imagine that somehow.
そんな私とハバネさんのこと見てたクラスの子らがついに怒っちゃって、ハバネさんに物申したのが始まり。
When she saw that she was bitchy to her, I
ク
see.
ラスの女子 VS ハバネさんの大喧嘩になっちゃって。
And that is why they're all assholes to her. I mean, I guess she has an attitude problem. That's kind of true. And you get what you sow sometimes, but still, I don't really get these blood feuds, you know. When Ageha reminded herself of what happened back then, she warily slouched forward. Ageha is cheerful and has many friends. Kotori, who didn't respond to Ageha's concern about her, might have been seen as the one in the wrong by those around them. Since then, she stopped coming to school.
そういうこと。いやー、あの時のハバネさんすごかったよ。クラスの女子全員を向こうに回して全然負けてなかったね。
Ageha is waving her arms around like someone from a kung fu movie and passionately tells the story. I decided not to ask what kind of heroic deeds took place, or for any specific details. Well, I didn't expect that. Even just by saying something in a slightly harsh way, she gets all tearful.
なんでハバネさん、うちの学校に来たんだろう。
You know, yeah, I kinda get that. Like, she kinda plays hard, but there are certain triggers that get to her, you know? I guess it's because he's like actually worried about her. That is what gets to her. Like the other people, like she hasn't got a problem fighting with someone who is out looking for a fight, but saying something mean to someone who actually means well. She first of all she reacts bitchy, but afterwards she kind of realizes that she was a bitch, you know? I guess there is room for her to grow, is what I'm saying.
だって授業も全然楽しそうじゃないし、友達も作ろうとしないし。
The only reason I could think of is that it might be because it has full disabled access. Is that rare in Japan? That is kind of sad. In fact, that could be the main reason. Is that really like a thing in Japan? Jesus fucking Christ. Like, we had a school that was like actually not designed for disabled people. But we still had disabled people because like you just help each other out, like carrying the wheelchair around and stuff like that. Carrying the wheelchairs upstairs and downstairs and stuff like that. That all happened. Just gotta want to, you know.
ああ、なんかしてあげられることないかな。
Looking at Ageha from the side as she puts her hands behind her head and starts thinking things over, I remember the withdrawal notice that I picked up last night. On the spur of the moment, I decided not to give it back and acted like I knew nothing about it. Is she really planning to drop out? It somehow felt like I had picked some heavy piece of lost property. The two of us both made troubled faces as we walked. A quiet, strange commotion surrounded us. Most of the other students around us on their way to school were looking in the same direction. Over there was a tall, slender, beautiful girl walking along. Oh, it's her. It was the girl I met in the garage. Everyone was looking at her with curiosity, but it seemed that she hadn't noticed that other people were looking at her. I was looking at her in the same way as everyone else, but Ageha took the way I was looking in the wrong way.
ほうほう、さすがお目が高い。あの人はうちの学校の超有名人にして超留年生、望月あまね先輩よ。
Super repeat student?
そう、もう何年も留年してるんだって。
Is she that stupid? She doesn't look it though.
どっちかっていうと天才？成績トップとかそういう次元じゃなくて、先生ももう教えることは何もないっていうか、たまに教えてもらいに行ってるとかなんとか。
I feel that is a cliché because people always think of the story how Einstein repeated a class. Is that actually true? Is that actually true? I feel like I've read that this is actually like an hoax that Einstein repeated a year. Anyway. Cleverer than the teachers? Does our school really deal in such specialized fields?
それなのになぜか卒業せず学校に居座ってるの。計画的に単位を落としてわざと留年してるんだって。本来規則で認められているよりも余分に留年してるから超留年生。けど珍しいな。朝の通学路で見かけるなんて。
I don't know if she's a genius or not, but she definitely seems like a pretty weird person. Then, abruptly, super repeat student senior Amane Mochizuki stopped walking and looked at the sky. Everyone else mimicked her and looked up too. A jet plane flying through the blue sky, pulling its vapor trail along behind it. Everyone soon realized it was a plane and quickly lost interest and started walking again. However, Amane Mochizuki kept on standing there, looking up at the plane flying high in the sky. When people came from behind and avoided her like she was in their way, she didn't pay any attention to them either. Sure. You gotta wonder how old she is then. If she repeated multiple times to stay in school, she has at least to be like, if the school has 5 years, if I remember correctly, they'd be 20, 21 if they leave school. And if she repeated multiple times, she must be in her mid-20s or something. Hey, maybe she's around my age actually. That would be fun. Koturi arrived just as our morning homeroom class finished. A better late than never.
ハバネ、もう体調の方はいいのか？
はい、おかげさまで。
そうか、心配してたんだぞ。
By the way, is there a way to go back? I was just thinking, like, it is apparently, they say it's disabled friendly school, but aren't there steps to to this classroom? Koturi went past the homeroom teacher, who seemed bewildered that she had come back to school all of a sudden, then, still in her wheelchair, arrived at her desk. The desk right at the front was the only one that didn't have a chair. I guess it makes sense. That way she doesn't have to go upstairs. Everyone looked on, puzzled.
私は動物園の動物じゃないわ。
Now that Kotori was in school, she started her cool allure routine again. She concentrated during the lesson and answered the teacher's question easily when asked. It seems like her grade in regular subjects are top class. During recess, she sat at her desk reading a book or going off somewhere. She didn't try to talk to anyone, and even if Agiha tried to speak to her, she acted like she hadn't noticed. The other girls in the class looked like they were worried about how they should treat her and watched her from a distance. During gym class, the way she looked on, bored, left an impression on me. She always looked like she was all alone and didn't seem to be enjoying herself very much. I wonder about that. Like, it's not per se a bad thing to do your thing, you know, and read during breaks and stuff, but not socializing at all is a little bad. At lunchtime, I found Kotori carrying her bag about to leave the classroom, and I chased her down the hallway. It's lunchtime, you know. What are you doing? Suddenly, Kotori dashed away at unbelievable speed. Whoa, hey! In the heat of the moment, I tried to chase her, but I thought I would bump into passing students, and I was too slow to start moving. In the meantime, Kotori had already gotten inside the elevator. According to the school rules, most students are not allowed to use the elevator. It was only supposed to be used by workers or teachers carrying big loads, or disabled students like Kotori. Even so, I chased after her, only for the doors to close mercilessly in front of me. Through the glass, the one with the self-proclaimed beauty stuck her tongue out and headed to the floor below as I stood and watched. You're not getting away. Do you know this clip of Spider-Man chasing Shocker? I'm just thinking of this. Shocker! I'll chase you to the end of the world. I love that clip. I ran and made it to the school gates. She was holding her back. It seemed like she was trying to leave early, so I went to cut her off. However, I can't deny the possibility that her lunch is in the back. Maybe I got the wrong idea. If that's not it, then what could be the problem? I watched over the school gates like some guardian statue. I was crashed into by something in the back. In other words, from outside the school gates. Ugh. Ow! What was that? I got up and felt like I was crawling out from under an avalanche. Then I saw a big cardboard box and a girl that had fallen over. Are you okay?
大丈夫。すまない。荷物で前が見えなくて。
But to be honest, I kind of feel like you also wouldn't have reacted if you didn't see what was happening. Oh. I looked at her as I got up, and without thinking, I thought I was going to say the super repeat student. But I held my tongue.
君こそどこも怪我はないか?
I'm alright.
そうか、よかった。
As she says that, the super repeating super senior holds onto the big cardboard box. Cardboard box. She went to lift it up, but then the senior Amane Mochizuki slumped down, exhausted.
空腹による一時的なパフォーマンスの低下が著しい。
I'll help you carry it. It's so heavy. The big cardboard box is incredibly heavy.
いいんだ。自分で運べるから。
Come on, it's no big deal. I said as I went to pick it up anyway.
ありがとう。
Is this okay here? I don't know what's in it, but we put the cardboard box on the floor.
悪いな。手伝ってもらって。
It's alright. Anyway, senpai, if you're hungry. She was staring towards the inside of the garage. Senpai. Okay, like I also, as mentioned, I get not translating suffixes. But making him say senior is also really retarded. I find myself copying her and looking in the same direction. Oh wait! I didn't even realize last time. This is a plane. Oh fuck, I feel like we kinda saw this, but it is a plane. Probably one of those gliding planes. Was Kotori. What is she doing here? Oh, probably a gliding plane for a disabled person. Oh my god, that is so cool if that is true. She's by the big thing placed in the center of the garage and is trying to lift up the sheet to see what is underneath.
それに興味があるのかい？
Ah, okay, no. Apparently it's just a normal gliding plane. Kotori is surprised when Amane speaks to her. Kotori seems intimidated and nods. Amane vigorously pulls back the sheet. Inside is a white, streamlined aircraft. Kotori looked at it, dazed. I say, wow, as I let a small, surprised sound slip out.
これもしかしてグライダー？うん、そうだ。
Amane nodded and Kotori cautiously moved her head closer to the aircraft. Even in the dimly lit garage, the glider's white body had a glossy shine to it and faintly reflected Kotori's face. I moved towards it to take a closer look. Is this the one that we saw from Windmill Hill?
多分そう。
That actually would make sense now that I think about it. So, if this is not a normal place for gliders to fly by, it's the one made by some random lady in a garage. Wow, actually it's interesting that those logic holes are coming together. Like I complained too early, actually, literally. The smooth surface looks like it was made from plastic, however it is hard to touch. The wings had been removed and for now it was just the body.
コックピットはこんな風になってるんだ。
This is amazing. We had started talking to each other at some point, but then finally realized who it was we were talking to. Hey, you, why are you running just away now? She calmly ignores my question, but then hurriedly tries to escape, so I go ahead to block her. I won't let you get away. Shaka. Yeah, sorry. Why did you come here for? Why did you come here for? What did you come here for? You're not here to eat lunch, are you? Jesus fucking Christ, I paid money for this game.
意地悪な奴が校門で見張ってたからここに隠れてたのよ。
So she really was trying to leave early.
知り合いかい？
Amane was listening carefully to our conversation. You know what, I'm kinda tired of these food gasms. Amane was wolfing down a Napolitan pasta lunchbox, and Kotori and I both had a face that seemed to say whoa, and looked on in amazement. Why would we say whoa?
なんでかな。美人にこういうことされるとすごいがっかりする。
Well, isn't she like the same, eating the Häagen-Dazs with like a soup spoon? Oh, she didn't know that when she was eating ice cream like a crazy idiot, I had the same reaction when I was watching her, huh? I told you, Aoi. I feel like we're brothers, man. By the way, the thing that Amane was eating was the lunchbox that I had brought. As usual, the boarders hadn't eaten the breakfast I had made for them, so I packed it as my lunch. I had made 2 lunchboxes. One was for me. As for the other one, I thought that if Kotori was going to go to school, she might have found it difficult at lunchtime, so I was worried about her and brought another lunchbox. That's why I was chasing her. If she didn't eat it, I thought I might eat them both myself, but she ran away before I could ask her.
でもいいのか？君のお弁当全部食べてしまって。
Asked Amane, although she had already eaten most of it before asking. I've already eaten my one. I was hungry during morning recess, so I had lunch early. Relieved to hear my answer, Amani continues to enjoy the cold Neapolitan pasta.
美味しいな。ちゃんとしたご飯を食べるのは久しぶりだ。
What exactly are your parents thinking about your whole shtick staying at the school? Did you have anything to eat after I saw you yesterday? I only gave her one piece of bread. Amani stopped moving her chopsticks and took a good look at my face. Oh, we've met before.
もしかして君は昨日パンをくれた人か？
Poor man Aoi. Poor man Aoi. You've only just realized.
いや、昨日は集中していたからな。
She really is weird.
そうか、君は二度も私を救ってくれたのか。
She looked at me with eyes that sparkled like a little kid's. If she were a dog, her tail would definitely be wagging like crazy.
君からパンをもらったのが約20時間前で、それ以前に遡るなら、最後に食事をとったのはおよそ70時間前になる。
No wonder she looks so thin. I counted on my fingers. If there are 24 hours a day, that's 3 days ago.
太陽圏の豚骨ラーメン全部のせを食べた。スープが濃厚で美味しかった。
I don't know, I feel like if you liked eating that much, you do it more often. She recalls this and her face looks like she's about to start drooling. Why don't you eat? Are you on a diet?
忘れていた。
Man, that must be a Luxus. Huh?
考え事をしていると他のことをよく忘れるんだ。私はバカだからな。
Amane replied with pride. I'd prefer it if she didn't compare it to when people forget things because they're hungry.
ここでグライダーを作っているんですか？ああ。
Are you doing that here?
ソアリング部の部室兼ガレージだが。
Soaring Club. I wasn't familiar with that name. What is soaring?
上昇気流に乗ってグライダーで飛ぶことをソアリングと言うんだ。
Flying a glider by riding the rising air currents. I kind of get it, but on the other hand, I don't get it. So the aim of the club is to make and fly a glider.
そういうことになるな。
And let me guess, you're the only man or woman in that club. So this garage is used for club activities after all. Even so, it's pretty spacious. Yeah, I mean, it has to be for gliders.
飛行機みたいなものなんでしょ？自分で作れるものなの？ああ、作れるさ。それが人工物である以上、人に作れないものはないはずだが。
I have a feeling that is not what she is asking. However, Amane answered the question in all
どう
seriousness.
やって作るの？そうだな。それを説明するなら、実際に作ってみた方が早い。
Hold on a moment, I said as Amane slurped up the last of Napoleonitan with extremely bad manners. Wiping round her mouth with a tissue, she started rummaging through a desk drawer.
あれはどこに行ったかな。
Peeking inside the drawer, somehow I get the impression that Amane is a typical disorganized person. Rather than things being put away, it was more like they were stuffed in.
あったあった。これだ。
The thing that Amane had taken out was a paper airplane construction kit made using cardboard.
さあ、作ってみてくれ。
Without thinking, Kotori and I looked at each other. I fear that manufacturing a glider and making a paper airplane are completely different things. But for now, I'll try doing as she says. Using glue and a craft knife, in about 10 minutes we had finished the paper plane.
できたわ。
I wonder for how much longer this will go on. Probably for a bit. Ah, well, fuck it. Let's keep going. All done. Amane takes the plane that Kotori had made and takes a good look. Then she threw it. The paper airplane floated gently as it flew and landed near the wall on the other side of the garage.
綺麗にまっすぐ飛んだ。いい機体だ。
Kotori seems embarrassed at being complimented.
飛行機にはいろんな種類がある。 ジャンボジェットや小型セスナ、戦闘機、そして今投げた紙飛行機、それらはみんな同じ原理で飛ぶんだ。
Paper airplanes and jumbo jets are the same.
ああ、原理は同じ。翼を使って空気に浮かび飛行する。
Kotari and I both tilted our heads in puzzlement. We both had a skeptical look on our faces. I can understand that a light paper airplane can fly by riding the wind, but it hurts to imagine that a giant hunk of metal can float in the sky on the same principle. Like, Jesus, are you all retarded? What do you learn in school? Like, even I know how flying, well, that flying kinda works like that. I mean, I'm not sure on how exactly it works, but like, have you never... Oh, well. Let's just accept that there are people who don't know how anything flying works, even though they go to an engineering school. There must be some other method that allows it to fly. Amani goes to pick up the paper airplane that she had just thrown.
これをよく見てほしい。君たちが知っている飛行機とこの紙飛行機、違いはどこにある？人が乗るかどうかも違うわ。そうだな。あとはエンジンがあるかないかくらいか。逆に言えばその他は同じだ。そこに飛行の原理がある。一般的な飛行機はだいたいこれと同じパーツからできている。まずは胴体、次に主翼、水平尾翼、垂直尾翼。多少突飛な形状をした飛行機でもだいたい同じパーツか、あるいは同じ役割をする別のパーツによって構成されている。
When she puts it like that, I guess she's right. I'd never paid that much attention to it though.
ところで飛行機がなぜ空気に浮くのか知っているかい？揚力があるからよ。そうだ。揚力とは流体の中にある翼に働く力のうち、流れの方向に対して垂直な成分のことを言う。
I look baffled again and Amani smiles a little and rephrases it.
つまり空気が翼を浮き上がらせようとする力のことだ。揚力はここ、主翼によって生み出される。翼に前から風が当たると、空気は翼の上と下に分かれて流れていくことになる。
I can just imagine the wings cutting the air like a blade.
この時、翼の上側と下側で気流の速度に差が生じると、流れの速い側の圧力が下がるんだ。ベルヌイの定理ね。
Okay, that I didn't know. Up until now, I was kinda like, yeah, I've heard of that before, but those are also new information to me. Amani nods. Standing beside her, I'm a little freaked out as she so easily comes out with a word like Bernoulli. I don't know. I didn't listen that closely apparently. What the hell is that? Apparently a person. We didn't learn that at my school. Maybe.
だから飛行機の翼は上面の空気が速く流れるよう設計されている。上面側の圧力を下げるためだ。そうすることで相対的に下面の圧力が高まり、空気が翼を持ち上げようとするんだ。
The air lifts the wings up. It's a phenomenon that is hard to suddenly imagine. So that is Bernoulli theorem. Amani nodded as if to say yes.
それともう一つ、翼の上面を流れた空気は翼面によって下へ曲げられ、後方に吹き下ろしを生じさせる。
As she explains, Amani is drawing a cross-section of a wing. According to that, an airplane's wing are flat at the bottom and at the top is shaped like a mountain, so it seems like it is semi-circular. Apparently, the air on the upper side flows along the raised curved surface and then bends to flow downwards. As for the question of why the air flows against the raised surface, it can only be said that this because of the nature of the air. Or so it would seem.
この吹き下ろしは
Jesus fucking Christ, when will the
同じだけの反作用を翼に与え、
please.
上方に持ち上げようとする。
I mean, I get it. It's kind of interesting, but not really. The reaction lifts up the wing.
重たいバスケットボールを地 つけようとしたら体がふわーっと浮く感じがするでしょ。それと同じことよ。
Does that mean that when the wing drops in the air, the reaction causes it to float?
それら揚力が機体の重量を上回った時、飛行機は空を飛ぶことができる。たとえそれが総重量数百トンに及ぶジャンボ旅客機でもね。
Theoretically, that may be so, but I still couldn't imagine how enough lift to cause a several hundred-ton airplane to take off could be created. However, airplanes do actually fly in the sky.
揚力を生み出してくれるこの主翼は飛行機が空に浮かぶために必要なパーツというわけだ。
I don't know if I understand or not, but I know I'm fucking bored by now, to be honest. However, I understood that the main wings are the most important part. Yeah, thank you, I was that far as well.
次に尾翼だが、垂直と水平と
Jesus
2つある。
fucking Christ. I know, this is like a row, like the one who changes directions
こ
and
れらは
stuff.
空中で機体の姿勢を安定させるためについている。
Okay, maybe not.
飛行機は空中に浮いているから地面に立つ我々よりもいつだって不安定なんだ。
See, I'm
ま
fucking
っすぐ
stupid
上を向いて
apparently.
るのが垂直尾翼。横方向の動きを安定させる。主翼と同じ向きに横に伸びているのが水平尾翼。こっちは縦の動き。つまり頭の上げ下げを安定させてくれる。これがないと紙飛行機もまっすぐには飛んでくれない。
And that is why all these paper airplanes I created in my life never worked. I see. So that's why they have small wings on the tail.
そしてボディ。ここは飛ぶこととは直接関係がないな。
But if you don't have this, there's no way to attach the wings.
以上が飛行機の基本形。
Okay, thank you for the physics lesson. Like, you know, I'm not. It's not. If you think I'm an asshole now, which you may as well do, it's not that I'm not interested in physics that much, but reading it in a visual novel in English, yeah, it's kind of hard to get and to grasp, you know.
これはずーっと昔、ライト兄弟の時代から変わらない。
Actually, I think. Wasn't there like someone who actually made the airplane before the Wright brothers? Who was just forgotten? Wasn't there something like this? Since that long ago. But the Wright brothers were the first people in the world to fly an airplane, right? So nothing has changed since the very first one was made?
ライト兄弟は動力を積んだ飛行機で飛んだ最初の人たちだ。グライダーはそれ以前から飛んでいたぞ。
See, told you. Yeah, I guess so. I always thought that the Wright brothers were the first to fly. Ha! I'm way more educated than you.
翼の役割を知りたければ、この紙飛行機で試してみるといい。例えば、そうだな。垂直尾翼を少し曲げて。それ。
The plane that Amane threw curved gently as it
さら
flew.
に主翼のここの部分を少し曲げれば。
She bent the left and right main wings so that they twisted at the back. That time the plane twisted as it flew. Hey, that's pretty interesting. Seeing this, Kotori started to adjust the tailplane on her own paper airplane.
見てて。
Full of confidence, Kotori threw her paper airplane. Whoa!
は
It did a beautiful loop-de-loop before landing. That's cool, it did a loop-the-loop.
あ、面白い。この紙飛行機。
Kotori and I both got really engrossed in adjusting the wings and playing around. Sometimes the paper airplane displayed some mid-air acrobatics, and other times they didn't fly at all and crashed into the ground. Oh, Jesus, I need to stop. I can't. I'm kind of exhausted. This explanation stuff and trying to understand this really took a lot out of my brain. And apparently this seems to be going on a bit. Jesus. Who thought going to school in a visual novel is happening actually for the learning part and not for the interaction part. But it's kind of interesting. I mean, most of the stuff, how this works with up pressure and down pressure and stuff like that. Like, I knew some of this stuff, but obviously, like, the details I had no idea about. But it's also, again, it's scientific stuff is a bit difficult to understand for me in English sometimes. Oh well, I guess at least Kotori found something she's enjoying in the school, so she might as well be staying, I don't know. I guess we'll learn about that in the next episode. So, thank you everybody for watching. Come back for the next episode. And I'll see you then. Bye bye.